The city quakes under the weight of an impending battle. Green Lantern hovers above, his emerald aura pulsating with energy. On the cracked streets below, Hulk's massive frame looms, his fists clenched tight. Their eyes lock, tension thick in the air. "You don't have to do this, Hulk," Green Lantern says, his ring glowing brighter. "Stand down, and we walk away from this." Hulk growls, his muscles tightening. Hulk doesn't run. Hulk smash. He slams his fists into the ground, sending a shockwave that cracks the pavement and shakes nearby buildings. Green Lantern reacts instantly, forming a shimmering green energy dome around himself. The shockwave crashes against the barrier, sending out sparks of green light. He narrows his eyes. "Fine. Have it your way." His ring pulses, and from the energy, a giant green wrecking ball materializes. With a swift motion, he swings it toward Hulk. Hulk sees it coming but doesn't move. Instead, he lets the massive construct smash into his chest. The impact sends a powerful gust of wind through the street, but Hulk only slides back a few feet, his feet carving trenches into the concrete. Then, he grins. Hulk felt that. Now Hulk's turn. He lunges forward, his massive fists swinging. Hulk's punch collides with Green Lantern's hastily formed energy shield. The force of the blow sends cracks through the construct, and Lantern grimaces as he's flung backward, crashing into a neon-lit billboard. Shards of glass rain down as he steadies himself mid-air, his ring glowing with renewed energy. "All right, you're strong. But strength isn't everything." He extends his hand, and suddenly, chains of glowing green light shoot out, wrapping around Hulk's arms and legs. Hulk struggles against them, his muscles bulging as he roars, the chains tightening. "Let's see you break free from this," Lantern says, reinforcing the constructs. Hulk strains against the glowing chains, his muscles bulging as he roars in defiance. The ground trembles beneath his sheer force. Green Lantern tightens his grip, reinforcing the construct. "Give up, Hulk. You can't break through pure willpower." Hulk's eyes burn with fury. With a thunderous roar, he plants his feet into the cracked pavement and pulls. The chains groan under the pressure. Then, with a deafening snap, they shatter. Green Lantern's eyes widen as Hulk lunges at him with incredible speed, swinging a massive fist. Green Lantern barely reacts in time, forming a massive green gauntlet to block Hulk's punch. The impact sends shockwaves rippling through the air, shattering windows in nearby buildings. The force of the strike pushes Lantern back through the sky. He grits his teeth, stabilizing himself mid-air. "All right, big guy," he mutters. "Let's see how you handle this." He points his ring at Hulk, and suddenly, dozens of massive green constructs appear, giant hammers, barriers, and even robotic arms designed to subdue him. They all strike at once. Hulk roars as the constructs crash into him. He swings wildly, smashing through the barriers and grabbing a robotic arm, ripping it apart with sheer force. Green Lantern watches as Hulk tears through his creations, his strength seemingly limitless. "This guy just doesn't stop," Lantern mutters. Hulk leaps into the air, his massive fist aimed at Green Lantern. With a quick motion, Lantern forms a massive green shield just in time. The impact creates a blinding explosion of energy, sending both combatants flying in opposite directions. As the dust settles, Green Lantern struggles to his feet. His uniform is slightly torn, and he wipes a trickle of blood from his lip. He looks across the battlefield. Hulk is already rising. "Okay, brute force isn't enough," Lantern mutters. "Time for some strategy." He lifts his ring, creating dozens of glowing green restraints around Hulk's arms and legs, anchoring him to the ground. Hulk snarls and tugs against them, but Lantern adds more layers, reinforcing the construct with every ounce of willpower. Hulk's muscles swell as he pushes against the restraints. The ground beneath him starts to crack under the immense pressure. Green Lantern grits his teeth, pouring more willpower into his construct. The restraints glow even brighter. For a moment, it looks like they might hold. Then, with a deafening roar, Hulk channels all his strength into a single burst of power. The restraints shatter into glowing fragments. Lantern barely has time to react before Hulk slams his fist into the ground, sending a shockwave toward him. Green Lantern barely lifts a barrier in time as the shockwave hits. The sheer force sends him hurtling backward through the air. He flips mid-air, regaining control just in time to see Hulk leaping toward him again. "Persistent, aren't you?" Lantern mutters, forming a massive green battering ram. He launches it forward. Hulk meets it head-on with a thunderous punch. The collision creates a shockwave so strong it sends both of them flying in opposite directions. Both warriors land hard, skidding across the ruined battlefield. Green Lantern groans, pushing himself up, while Hulk shakes off the dust and growls. "You're strong," Lantern admits, standing tall again. "But strength alone won't win this fight." Hulk narrows his eyes, taking a step forward. Suddenly, Lantern's ring glows intensely. He raises his hands, forming an enormous glowing energy dome around them both. Let's see what happens when you have nowhere to run. Inside the glowing green dome, Hulk's fists tighten. He glances at the shimmering energy walls, then back at Green Lantern. Trapping Hulk won't work, he growls, slamming his fists together. Lantern smirks. It's not a trap, it's a challenge. With a flick of his ring, the ground inside the dome shifts, turning into a battlefield of shifting platforms and obstacles. Floating pillars rise, and glowing barriers form at random. You're all about brute force. Let's see how you handle strategy. Hulk roars, charging forward, but just as he's about to reach Lantern, the ground beneath him vanishes. He falls into a pit but catches the edge with one hand, muscles straining. Hulk roars, swinging himself up from the pit with sheer strength. As soon as he lands, he smashes his fists into the floating platform, breaking it apart. Fine, Lantern mutters. No obstacles, just you and me. The entire battlefield smooths out, turning into a flat, open arena. Hulk wastes no time. He charges again, his fists ready. Lantern lifts both hands, creating two massive glowing gauntlets around his arms. Their fists collide, sending shockwaves rippling through the dome. They trade blows, Hulk's raw power against Lantern's glowing constructs. Every punch Lantern throws is reinforced by willpower, but Hulk's unstoppable strength keeps pushing him back. You don't stop, do you? Lantern breathes, shaking his aching arms. Hulk's attacks grow more relentless. Each punch shatters Lantern's constructs, forcing him to rebuild them over and over. Green Lantern frowns. He needs a new plan. Instead of meeting Hulk's attacks head-on, he shifts tactics. He dodges, weaving through Hulk's swings while shaping his constructs into quick counterattacks. Ropes, hammers, even a giant catapult. But Hulk adapts too. With each failed attempt, he learns, smashing through Lantern's tricks with growing frustration. Finally, Hulk leaps high into the air and slams both fists down at once. Lantern barely has time to react. The impact cracks the entire energy dome, sending blinding green light bursting outward. The energy dome shatters completely, its shards dissolving into the air. Green Lantern is flung backward, tumbling across the battlefield. Hulk lands with a deafening crash, his feet leaving deep cracks in the ground. He exhales heavily, steam rising from his skin. Green Lantern groans as he pushes himself up, shaking his head. His constructs flicker, unstable. You're tougher than I thought, he admits, wiping a trickle of sweat from his brow. Hulk narrows his eyes. Hulk strongest there is. Lantern smirks despite himself. We'll see about that. He takes a deep breath, and his ring pulses with renewed energy. The battlefield trembles as a towering, armored figure forms behind him. A giant construct, 10 times Hulk's size. Hulk cracks his knuckles. Big doesn't scare Hulk. Green Lantern's giant construct takes a step forward, the ground shaking beneath its weight. It raises a massive fist and swings it down at Hulk. Hulk braces himself, then leaps forward, catching the construct's fist with both hands. The impact creates a shockwave, sending dust and debris flying. For a moment, they are locked in a test of strength. Hulk's raw power against Lantern's willpower-fueled creation. Lantern grits his teeth, pouring more energy into his ring. The construct lifts Hulk off the ground, throwing him back. Hulk crashes into a rocky formation, sending stones flying in all directions. Groaning, he pushes himself up. His eyes burn with determination. Hulk not lose. He bellows, pounding his chest before charging forward again. Hulk charges at full speed, dodging the construct's attempts to grab him. He leaps onto its arm, climbing toward its head. Lantern narrows his eyes, trying to keep control, but Hulk is too fast. He reaches the top, raises both fists, and smashes them into the construct's head. The energy structure flickers violently. Lantern grits his teeth, reinforcing it, but Hulk keeps punching, each blow weakening the construct further. Finally, with a final, earth-shaking strike, Hulk shatters the giant's head completely. The construct collapses into glowing fragments. Green Lantern stumbles, breathing hard. You're impossible, he mutters. Hulk lands in front of him, cracking his knuckles. Hulk wins. But he hesitates, noticing Lantern still standing. Not yet, Lantern says, raising his ring one last time. Lantern's ring glows with an intense emerald light, brighter than before. He clenches his fist, summoning every ounce of willpower left in him. The battlefield trembles as the air crackles with energy. A new construct begins to form, this time, an enormous, intricate suit of armor encasing Lantern himself. Hulk watches, narrowing his eyes. More tricks? Not tricks, Lantern says, stepping forward. His armored boots leave green, glowing imprints on the cracked ground. Just will. The two titans stare each other down for a moment. Then, without warning, they charge at each other. colliding in an earth-shattering explosion of light and force. The impact sends shockwaves through the battlefield, cracking the ground further. Lantern's armored form takes the brunt of Hulk's punch, but he holds firm. Hulk roars, throwing another strike. This time, Lantern counters, catching Hulk's fist mid-air. The two struggle in a raw contest of power. Green Lantern grits his teeth. "I won't let you win that easily." Hulk grins. "Good. Hulk-like fight." The battle rages on, each warrior refusing to yield. But both are reaching their limits. Lantern's energy begins to waver. The armor flickers, cracks forming along its surface. Hulk, sensing weakness, lunges forward with one final, powerful strike. The punch shatters the armor completely, sending Lantern skidding across the battlefield. Breathing heavily, Lantern struggles to rise. His ring flickers, running low on energy. Hulk steps forward but stops, watching as Lantern forces himself back onto his feet. Still standing? Hulk grunts. Lantern smirks, exhausted but determined. Still fighting. A tense silence fills the battlefield. Hulk exhales, lowering his fists. "Good fight," he mutters. Green Lantern, still catching his breath, nods. "Yeah, you're stronger than I expected." Hulk smirks. Hulk always strongest. Lantern chuckles, shaking his head. "Maybe. But strength isn't everything." Hulk tilts his head. "Maybe not. But it helps." The two warriors stand there, both battered but unbroken. A mutual respect lingers between them. Lantern taps his ring, sending a faint green glow into the sky. "Next time, I won't hold back." Hulk grins. Hulk hopes so. With that, they turn away, their battle over, but their rivalry far from finished.